You can absolutely take some of that drink. What do you happen to be drinking there, Aaron?
I have Captain Morgan 100 proof spiced rum, and it says premium at the bottom, so I think it's good.
That's pretty fancy.
Yeah.
Well,
It's got a goddamn pirate on it.
we'll drink some of that shit.
I don't have a shot glass.
The pirates don't use shot glasses. Are you kidding me?
Oh, shit. That's absolutely true. Oh, yeah. That is definitely good stuff.
We're already a couple beers in. I got me some cider. And, yeah, we're just chilling here. Just got back from Buffalo Wild Wings, watching the game, drinking beer, eating some chicken wings.
You bastard.
Those chicken wings are so good.
Not even the chicken wings.
What do you mean?
What were we doing at Buffalo Wild Wings?
Watching the game?
Oh, you piece of shit.
What? Plus there was that racist bitch.
That one racist bitch. It's unbelievable. I don't know how we can explain what she said without sounding racist ourselves.
Yeah,
She said the N-word.
she dropped the N-bomb. I called her a white crack a bitch. And, that was it. She didn't say anything.
Nope. No, she did not. We should probably introduce ourselves.
Okay, well, I'm Alex.
I'm Aaron. Hello.
I'm Mary.
Yes, you are. So we're gathered here today to read some fantasy stories.
I thought it was going to be like the
A
start
wedding.
of like a
We are gathered
wedding.
here
We're
today.
gathered here today to read our stories.
Nothing too fancy.
Through love,
We're gonna read
and
some
through hardship.
stupid shit here.
It's fucking going to be ridiculous. So who should go first? You? I suppose?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'm gonna drink a little bit of this, and I'm gonna crack this other drink here. Yes, so delicious.
Did you like graft our microphone onto a mostly empty bottle of vodka?
Yeah,
Is that what's our stand?
yeah. Our microphone is taped to a bottle of vodka.
God damn it, we are alcoholics. That's the only thing we have that we can use as a stand.
It seemed the most efficient, and it's working. It's working.
Yeah,
great
job well
right
done
now.
so far.
All right, so I'll go ahead and read my story, and yeah, let's go.
Go ahead.
Alrighty. So my story is called Nargh and the Mace of Everlasting Slaughter.
Oh yes. So what question about that mace?
Alright.
Now, does the mace just like if you get slaughtered by it, you just continuously get slaughtered over and over? Or you just die being slaughtered and you live forever?
It's a mixture of both. Plus, it's like everlasting slaughter. Like the mace has just killed everything throughout history.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, not literally everything, because some things are still alive.
I was gonna say, how's it gonna be used? Everything's dead.
Yeah, no, not everything's dead, but
Okay.
it's certainly capable of it.
Well, I want to hear some more about it. Please go on.
Alright, well, here we go. Nargh, the orc shaman, sat perched atop Mount Arcanos. He looked out at the horizon and took a huge rip off his secret bong. He could feel the elements of the planet coursing through his body. Actually, he thought, I'm probably just stoned as fuck.
How is that bong secret?
He keeps it in a secret spot, don't worry about it. His orc-weed addiction practically ran his life, and he was a complete slave to it. However, he somehow remained functional and always went on epic adventures like the badass he was. Suddenly, a gigantic fucking shadow swept over him, and he turned his head skyward to see what the fuck that was.
Oh shit.
What the fuck was that? He yelled. It was a huge-ass bird monster with 2 heads that had beaks lined with 50 rows of metal teeth.
Oh, god damn. That bird has metal teeth?
Yeah.
Is it just that bird? Does he have like really bad braces or something?
No, it's just this particular species of bird that has metal teeth.
Question about the bird's anatomy. Now, when you say he has 2 heads, are you talking about his dick by chance?
No, oh
Okay.
my god.
Alright.
No, two normal heads with brains and shit.
Okay. Alright, go ahead. So he doesn't have 2 dicks.
No.
So 2 heads share 1 dick?
Yes.
That's fucked up, man. You're fucking sick.
2 for 1 deal. The monster let out a deafening double bird roar and went into a nosedive directly in Nargh's direction. Nargh shoved the orc weed in his pocket and almost dropped his bong as he grabbed his faithful dual-edged axe off the ground. The bird monster was just about to strike Nargh, but he was too quick. In a fast spinning motion, Nargh turned with his axe and plunged it straight into one of the heads of the bird monster. It let out a pitiful death whimper as Nargh yelled, "You fucking bitch!" The creature's momentum launched it into Nargh, and they collided harder than a goddamn meteor.
Oh my god, this shit's getting intense. Dude, that's a motherfucking crazy-ass bird.
Yeah, dude, you don't fuck with this bird.
Fucking with a goddamn drug-addicted green monster. The fuck?
At this point, he was 100% blood rage mode. The other head of the bird monster was fucking pissed. It started snapping at Nargh with his super fucking sharp metal teeth while he tried to free his axe from the caved-in skull of the other head. He tugged and dodged the scary-ass attacks from the bird's living head.
Hold on. So, Nargh's tugging on one of the bird's two heads?
He's trying to...
It sounded like he was tugging on one of the two heads.
No, his axe is stuck in the head of the other bird, and he's trying to pull it loose. And he's dodging the attacks from the other bird's head.
His juice coming out?
Yes, lots of brain juice is coming out.
Oh, okay.
He tugged and dodged the scary-ass attacks from the bird's living head, but as hard as he could try, he couldn't get his axe loose. The bird monster probably thought something like, "Fuck this!" and it took a leap to the side and jumped off the face of the mountain, flapping its wings. Nargh was still holding onto the hilt of his axe.
Oh, dude.
"I don't think so!" Nargh yelled. His face was completely red with blood, and he was so goddamn pissed off. The bird monster probably knew that Nargh was going to kill the fuck out of him, so he was just trying to get away now. Higher and higher they flew. Nargh still gripped the axe handle with bloodlust in his eyes. With his super sweet arm muscles, Nargh flung himself around the body of the bird monster and landed on his back, mid-flight. He immediately started punching the fuck out of the back of the creature's head. Whack! Whack! Every punch caved in the beast's head further. Whack! Whack! The bird monster's brain started exploding through the back of its skull, and they both began to free fall.
God damn.
Nargh let out a blood-curdling laugh as they fell through the sky. He grabbed his axe again and gave it a mighty twist. It finally came free, and he separated from the bird monster, still in free fall. "Fuck!" Nargh yelled with the ground quickly approaching him. At the last second, Nargh used his super fucking badass shaman powers to channel the power of the wind. He used the wind to slow his fall, and he landed smoothly on the ground, like a boss.
Oh.
He hung his axe on his belt. It was still covered in blood, brains, and bone fragments. It was pretty fucking metal, and he grunted in satisfaction of the damage he caused. He looked at his surroundings. He landed in a small clearing of a dense forest. Judged by his descent, he was right in the middle of it. Nargh cursed his shitty luck. In the center of the clearing was a large boulder covered in moss. It looked like the perfect seat. He wandered over to it and reached into his satchel for a secret bong. It was empty.
No!
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that bird fucking stole it.
That bird is an asshole.
Dude, he's a total cockblock. He's fucking part of the goddamn Birds Against Drugs and Alcohol Prohibition.
He frantically patted his other bags and pockets, and once he realized he must have lost it at some point in the battle, he dropped to his knees and bellowed a bone-quaking war cry. That was the longest he ever had a bong before he lost it or some other asshole broke it on him. Nargh, being the badass adventure orc he was, always had a backup plan. He sat down on the huge rock and pulled out a wooden pipe out of his pocket. The pipe was intricately carved like a sea bass that had the body of a winged serpent creature.
Goddamn sea bass. It's a sea bass with wings.
Yeah,
That's
pretty much.
Pretty fucking sweet pipe.
Yeah, I'm saying. Shit's not cheap to make.
Oh, fuck no. I have a lava bitch for that.
He retrieved his container of orc weed and was just about to pack the fattest bowl of the day when suddenly the bushes in front of him began to shake. His eyes widened and he strained to see what was hiding, but couldn't make out what it was. He stowed his paraphernalia away and grabbed his big-ass axe as he yelled, "Show yourselves, or I will destroy your mother's ovaries and desecrate her body!" Instantly, a tiny little hairless gnome hopped out of the bushes. "Please," he begged, "don't desecrate my mother! She's been dead for 12 seasons and she couldn't handle that right now! Please!" Nargh generally disliked necrophilia unless the body was freshly killed. He wasn't interested in that right
Unless
now.
it was freshly killed. At least he has standards.
He does have standards. He doesn't lower himself like that. Why shouldn't I kill you, you puny beardless bitch? Nargh stated.
Well, I could tell you of a great treasure, one that you will cherish and use and love forever.
Nargh was a little intrigued, but that tiny little bitch could have just been lying his ass off. What treasure? He asked. Where? The gnome looked terrified as Nargh stepped closer to him, axe in hand.
Deep in the forest, the South Forest.
He pointed behind Nargh.
Follow that path. Stay to the right. Don't stray from the path, ever!
Dude, don't fucking trust midgets. Dude, don't ever trust midgets.
This guy is kind of sketchy.
Dude, midgets in the goddamn woods? He's in the middle of a forest. Just some goddamn midget tells him of a treasure? Are you kidding me? Don't do it.
The huge beefy orc turned his head to see a small path, covered in brush and dense foliage. He got angry thinking about trudging his way through that bullshit. He turned back around and demanded more answers from the annoying-ass gnome. What treasure? The gnome pissed himself in fear.
He just straight up pissed himself.
Epic hammer! Stone dungeon! Underground! Ah!
He turned around and bolted back into the woods. Nargh let the pathetic guy go and decided he would see if that little bastard was telling the truth. He pulled out his pipe, packed it, and took like 20 mega rips from it and headed towards the overgrown path.
God damn, his goddamn orc-weed addiction is ruining his life. How do you take goddamn... First of all, how big is a mega rip?
A mega rip is like... I'm not even sure. It's like a... It's an orc term that they use, and usually you can only do one before you die, but... He takes 20.
Dude, he's like the Charlie Sheen of orcs.
Almost, yeah, you could say
just
that.
Just doing fucking non-stop drugs.
Nargh had to hack and slash at the brush as he walked, but he had no trouble doing it all because of his incredible one-arm skills. As a right-handed orc, he used that arm to do most of his killing and most of his chronic masturbating.
I was gonna say, how do you get so good at one-arm skills?
He looked at that as training, and you could obviously tell because his super ripped biceps were at least like 25% bigger than on his left arm.
He could have just been really good at bowling.
No, he's a chronic
masturbator. So he's addicted to jacking off and also addicted to drugs.
Orcweed is not a drug. We don't need to get into this discussion.
Is it legalized in Orcorado?
No, not yet.
How about Orkington?
Not there yet either, but we're working on it. He came to another small clearing. There were two paths. On the right was another overgrown path. To the left was a roasting pig on a spit in the middle of the path. Nargh saw no one around and didn't think he smoked enough to be tripping yet. He remembered the words of the stupid-ass gnome instructing him to stay on the path. Fuck you, pig, Nargh thought. He continued on the overgrown path, slicing down vines and leaves and roots and everything that got in his way. He eventually came to another clearing. Nargh looked to the left, and on the path he saw a sight that left him speechless. Two beautiful orc whore maidens holding silver platters of bison burritos.
How does he know they're whores?
You can tell when you see an orc whore that bitch is a whore.
He just walked completely bow-legged. Just completely destroyed all their years of whoring.
They called his name. Nargh! Nargh! He stumbled closer. He could feel his stomach rumbling. He began salivating.
Oh no. This isn't good. Something bad's gonna happen.
The orc whores held out the platters to him. The burritos were the size of newborn orc babies. And newborn orc babies are pretty fucking big.
I was gonna say, they must be big as shit. Didn't that gnome tell him not to go off the path?
He did, but he's
not listening.
he can't resist the temptation of bison burritos, dude. No one could.
Especially not fucking high as shit.
With one outstretched arm, Nargh touched the outer soft shell of the bison burrito. It was warm. Time seemed to slow down. It suddenly felt like ice. Everything around him seemed to darken in the blink of an eye. The platters dropped and burrito content spilled everywhere. Nargh had bison all over his boots, and that pissed him off so bad. The burrito whores reeled their head backs, screamed, and began transforming into giant bear spiders. These fucking abominations have the body and head of a bear with 8 thin, creepy-ass, furry legs.
Dude.
You do not want to fuck with a bear spider.
Jesus Christ, no. Are you sure it's not like, I don't know, maybe a bear the size of a spider?
No, it's a fucking fuzzy-ass bear spider abomination that's the size of like an 8-foot-tall bear. It's scary as fuck.
Do they have like 8 eyes like a spider?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Oh shit. Go ahead, go on.
He lifted his axe just as the burrito explosion snapped him out of whatever trance he was under. Nargh began swinging his axe wildly and screaming like a blood-crazed gorilla. One bear spider jumped almost on top of him and snapped violently at his face and just barely missed. Nargh dodged, spun, and sliced off 3 of the creature's legs at once. As that bear spider fell over like a little bitch, the other one dove at him. Before he could react, the razor-sharp teeth of the bear spider dug into Nargh's left arm. Gah! Nargh screamed out in pain as blood gushed from his fresh wound. He started hacking at the bear spider at the base of the neck and quickly decapitated it. The creature's head was still attached to Nargh's arm. He looked down and let out a super fucking loud war cry as he ripped the severed head off himself. He cast the lifeless head to the side and walked over to the other fallen bear spider. It growled at him for a second, but then Nargh curb-stomped the fuck out of its face.
I'm kind of worried for Nargh. Are bear spiders venomous?
They're not venomous. That's, like, lucky for him that they're not venomous.
That's pretty goddamn lucky. Is it just that type of bear spider?
Yeah.
Or is all bear spiders?
Well, there's different, like, species of bear spiders. So some are venomous and some, they just have, like, razor-sharp teeth that'll cut you up.
I guess if you're a giant fucking bear with spider legs, you don't really need venom.
Yeah, that's just too dangerous. That's like,
too much. That's
OP.
overkill.
Yeah, OP.
Nerf.
Yeah, Nerf bear spiders. Nargh now understood why he should have stayed on the path. And stay on the path he did. He kept walking and took a couple smoke breaks every now and then to feed his addiction to orc weed. Finally, after like 2 hours of walking and slashing, Nargh finally came upon a small stone bunker, and he was totally high as fuck. He stood there cheesing for a few minutes until he remembered why he had come there. Treasure.
Treasure indeed.
The stone structure looked like it was hundreds of years old. Its surface was decimated by cracks that were filled with vines and other plants. The green life intertwined with the dark, worn-down building provided a stark contrast. There was a small staircase in front that led up to a huge wooden door. Nargh climbed the steps and kicked the door open. It swung violently and dust and dirt clouded the air. He stepped inside and a torch illuminated the room. It smelled strongly of rotten skeletons and moldy bananas. To his left, there was another wooden door.
Wait a second. don't just say rotten skeletons and moldy bananas and don't acknowledge that shit. What the fuck is with the moldy bananas?
I mean, that's just what the place smells like.
Are there like zombie apes down there?
I sure hope not. That'd be fucked up.
That'd be fucked, man.
It's just someone must have was burning like a Glade candle that smelled like bananas or something.
Just a banana orgy and it just went horribly wrong.
Possibly, I suppose we'll see. To his left, there was another wooden door. Nargh walked over to it and tried to kick it open. The door budged a little bit, but it seemed to be locked. He turned around and saw a staircase that led down further into the dungeon. Why the fuck not? He thought to himself.
No, don't go down.
He's looking for the treasure, dude.
Oh my god, dude. Nothing good ever happens in the basement of a dungeon. Normally a dungeon is somebody's basement.
Every step he took flung a cloud of dust out from under his leather boots. Nargh grabbed a torch off the wall and started his descent down the stairs, further into the heart of the underground. Every step had to be a cautious one because of how fucking steep the goddamn stairs were. Further down, there was a click. He stopped moving and listened. Silence. Then, another click. What the hell? He thought. And another click. Axe in hand, Nargh slowly moved down another step, and before he could even land his foot on the stone stair, the clicking went absolutely insane. It grew louder and louder, closer and closer. He outstretched his arm that held the torch to try and see what was coming. Just as he did, the thing of nightmares emerged from the darkness. Crab bats.
Oh shit, crab bats?
Hundreds of them. "Oh, fuck!" Nargh exclaimed as he started swinging his weapon violently through the swarm of crab bats. They screeched all around him, furiously snapping their claws together that let out a deafening click. The axe connected with the hard carapace of multiple crab bats on every swing, and suddenly everything in the stairway was wet with blood. He slipped and fell, tumbling down the stairwell as the remaining crab bats flew after him, screeching even louder still. The torch went out as Nargh fell, and out of nowhere the stairs finally ended. He rolled out onto the hard surface of the next room, still shrouded in darkness. It sounded like a door behind him slammed shut. For the moment, he was safe from the crab bats.
Before we go any further, please tell me what exactly a crab bat is.
Well, I was thinking a crab bat is like a crab with wings, like a hard ass oval shaped big, like, I'm thinking coconut crab
Those
size
things are fucking huge.
with wings. Yeah,
How can that thing fly?
it's got giant ass wings.
Huge ass wings. Okay. See, because I was picturing something totally different. I was picturing a bat, but with like a crab shell and like claws for feet.
Me too.
Yeah. See. Okay.
I mean, it could be whatever you think it is. They're scary either way.
Okay, then it's flying genital crabs.
That's what you want to think about. Fuck those things, he thought to himself. Especially the genital ones. He didn't want to go through that again, so he waited for a few seconds, just
He ran
listening.
out of the shampoo. Ran out of the special shampoo.
Shut up, dude. There was no sound emanating from the room. He slowly began to stand up. As he did, a torch on the opposite wall burst into flames, filling the room with a dim light. The floor was littered with dry, ancient-looking bones. Another torch on another wall caught fire. Then another. Then another. The room began filling with more and more light, getting brighter and brighter with each torch. Suddenly, the bones started to shake and two piles formed. Nargh readied himself for anything. Out of each pile of bones, a creature began to rise. First it formed bone, feet, and legs, then a torso and arms, and finally a head. This shit looked like a humanoid skeleton, but they had way too many fucking bones and were each like 8 feet tall. They started making skeleton noises as they became animated.
What the fuck is skeleton noises? I don't even
like,
know. Just
like skeleton noises. I mean,
dude, that sounded like two dogs having sex.
each one held a brutal-looking warmaul. Nargh was sick of this shit. He dashed forward in between them, just narrowly dodging a vicious hammer blow. They reeled back, ready to swing again, and Nargh closed in on the one to his left. It parried a few of his attacks, but Nargh was too quick. He bellowed some dwarven racial slurs and severed the arm bones of his skeleton. Instinctively, Nargh dodged downward just as the other skeleton took a mighty swing at his head. The dodge was timed perfectly as the warmaul missed Nargh and connected with the chest of the other skeleton. It exploded and pieces of bone shot all over the room. Nargh knew he had his chance, and once again channeled the power of the wind. He shot a massive gust of wind directly at the gargantuan skeleton with all the power he had. It was flung backward to the wall, directly into a torch. Its whole body erupted into blue flames.
Oh.
Nargh was done fucking around. He reached back with his axe, and in one badass precision motion, whipped his axe at the skeleton. It spun, end over end, and struck the flaming skull directly in the center. It split in two, and the rest of the bony corpse collapsed and turned into dust.
Jesus Christ. That's some overkill, man. It's already on fire.
The door behind him flung open. To his right, a small object fell out of a small opening in the stone ceiling. Upon closer inspection, it appeared to be a wooden box. Nargh opened the box. Inside the box was a rusty-ass key that had an emblem hanging off as a keychain. He squinted in the dim light, and once he saw what the insignia was, his body began to course with adrenaline. It was the sacred leaf of the orc-weed plant.
Oh, man.
Delighted, he grabbed a torch and went back up the steep-ass staircase, eviscerating a couple crab bats in the process. Finally back to the top floor, Nargh approached the locked door with the key at the ready. He unlocked it. Darkness. Holding the torch out, he slowly stepped inside. His footsteps echoed off the walls as the door slammed behind him. The room appeared to be a long hallway with no distinctive features besides being overwhelmed with moss and small plants. As he walked further, a light erupted from the end of the passageway. It opened up into a much larger octagonal-shaped area. The light was emanating from a lone pedestal in the center of the room. Perched atop it was a solid-looking wooden chest. Attached to it was a scroll. He pulled it off and unraveled it. It read, "The treasure of slaughter, hidden beneath visions. To smoke the dank is the best decision."
What could it mean?
Some will never know. Nargh opened the chest. Inside was a metric fuckton of the finest orc weed he had ever seen.
Holy shit. That was a metric fuckton, an official unit of measurement for the orcs.
Yeah, actually it is. It's a whole, like, metric... fuckton, I mean...
Dude,
it's a lot.
I wouldn't mind using the metric system if that's how it really works. Freaking count me up.
Buried beneath it was a sweet-ass bong. He knew what he had to do. He smoked and smoked, and when he was high as shit, he smoked some more. The chest full of orc weed seemed to never get empty. Like, seriously, he puffed on that shit for like 2 hours, and then it was finally empty. Nargh was baked out of his fucking mind. The room seemed to glow, and time slowed down. Suddenly, there was a deafening roar behind him. He spun around, axe in hand, and almost shit his pants. It was an apparition of a motherfucking ice dragon.
Oh shit, dragon ghost.
Yeah, dude. Its transparent, icicle-tipped wings flapped, and the entire room seemed to freeze over. Nargh dove behind the pedestal as a blast of frozen flames exploded around the edges of it. He jumped out and immediately channeled fire. Red-hot flames danced around his hands, and he shot a volley of fireballs directly at the dragon spirit's head. Most of them connected, and the dragon roared in pain. Steam hissed from the fire and ice collision. Before the dragon could react, Nargh charged at it in a half-bloodlust, orc-weed-induced stupor. He imbued his axe with fire and jumped onto the beast's neck. Instantly, Nargh began swinging his axe, hacking and hacking at the head and the neck of the apparition. Each successive hit launched more and more spirit flesh into the air, and ice blood was fucking everywhere. The place looked like a goddamn ice ghost massacre.
Could we all know what that's like? Thank you for painting such a vivid visual for us.
Use your imagination. It screeched in pain and flopped to the side. Nargh continued hacking at it. He couldn't tell if he was kicking some serious ass or if he was just tripping his nuts off. Either way, it was fucking awesome.
Sounds like both.
It very well may be both. He finally stopped fucking the dragon's face up. Its body seemed to dissolve into the floor. In its place appeared another chest, this one much more ornate than the previous one. He kicked it open and saw the item he came for. The goddamn mace of everlasting slaughter.
Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck yeah, Nargh said to himself as he reached in and lifted the one-handed hammer. It was made of stone and metal and had some crazy-ass carvings on it that depicted various ass-kickings throughout history.
It's the most glorious ass-kickings.
Yeah,
forever engraved.
Underneath the mace was a small parchment. He picked it up. It read, "Mace of Everlasting Slaughter Instruction Manual." "I don't need this shit," Nargh mumbled as he tossed it aside. He left the dungeon. He had enough of all the bullshit he put up with all damn day long. He did, however, have a new badass hammer and a kick-ass bong. Worth it, he thought.
Worth it.
The sun was still high in the sky, and birds made some annoying-ass noises that permeated through the woods. Nargh sat down to relax. And by relax, I mean he packed a super huge bowl and ripped his new bong like a fucking champion. The end.
Bravo, yeah. That was an awesome story.
Why, thank you.
God
Thank you.
damn it.
Quite epic. I like that.
What was your favorite part?
I would probably say my favorite part was... God, it's hard to pick. I mean, we got crab bats, bear spiders, a very vividly depicted ghost slaughter.
Orc horrors.
And the
You
orc
can't
horse.
forget about the orc horrors.
I like the orc horrors.
For those of you listening, you might have noticed some of us might be slightly sick currently.
It's gross.
So, yeah, there's a little bit of sniffles, a little bit of coughing going on in the background, so just to explain, and we're like 30 minutes in. Should have told you at the start.
Yeah, how about you just like stop being sick?
Bitches.
Like
I have an
you're
idea.
like some weak peasant that gets sick. I mean,
I have an idea.
Peasant boy.
Why don't both of you go fuck yourselves?
maybe I will.
That'll make me feel way better.
I'm a fuck orc. Or
You go
narc.
find me a
Nargh.
fucking orc whore with some burrito.
Bison burrito.
Bison burrito.
Do you know how delicious a bison burrito would actually be?
Dude, how about a mammoth burrito?
A
Buffalo's
mammoth-
very lean.
Buffalo is
Buffalo
very.
is
I wonder how
really
lean mammoth is.
Even leaner.
Probably
think so?
not very lean. I think they're fat as fuck.
Yeah,
Well-
but so are buffalo.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think
Buffalo
mammoth are
are
probably
not.
very lean.
Buffalo are not fat. They're just straight muscle. That's why they're lean.
What if a mammoth is straight muscle?
They're not. They're chunky and fat.
What about
You ever
the
see an
beefalo?
elephant?
Beefalo.
Beefalo? It's a cow buffalo.
It's a hybrid.
That sounds stupid.
It
I
is
know.
stupid.
Whoever named it was a jackass. You're like,
No shit.
cow, buffalo. Oh, name it
Beefalo.
a beefalo. It's like, good going, asshole.
I know.
Could have had a sweet ass name. Fucking goddamn it, call it Buff Cow. Strong Cow.
Buff cow. All right, so yeah, that's my story, and so Aaron, you have a story for us.
I do have a story. Now, this is a story that is titled Fire in the Skies.
Oh,
Yes, and in little undertext, a Galgar origin story.
So is this telling where Galgar came from, or where he got his mightiness?
Now, Galgar is an orc with a very full beard. This isn't in the story. This is just a brief little prologue. This is pretty much a story of why everybody calls him Galgar the Mighty. Or Galgar the motherfucking Mighty.
Oh, I am intrigued to hear this. I can't wait.
You really should be. It might change your life.
Well, let's hear it then.
Okay, so, prologue. This is the official prologue.
Prologue 2.0.
2.0.1. Galgar was no stranger to blacking out drunk. He had once been so drunk he ended up going back to the hut of a dirty skank witch he had met at his favorite tavern in the port city of Shivdodge. The Horlock, from what he could remember, had just watched him tear the arms off of 3 human mercenaries foolish enough to challenge him to an arm wrestling match. All at once. He went back to her house and she gave him the sickest, nastiest suck job he had ever gotten from a desert troll. Halfway through, the witch turned into a huge donkey, revealing its massive troll donkey dong. Galgar punched that fag in the face and broke its donkey boner in half with a roundhouse kick. He made a hasty retreat, vomiting up the 8 bottles of orc absinthe he single-handedly drank that night, as well as chunks from a broadsword he had eaten on a dare.
Whoa, he ate a broadsword?
It was a fucking magic broadsword.
Was that after drinking the 8
Of
bottles?
deliciousness. Dude, he was probably halfway through the night.
Oh my god.
Dude, orc absinthe is like 20 times stronger than human absinthe.
You're saying Nargh has problems. It sounds like Galgar's got some serious drinking issues.
Look, he's got daddy issues, okay? He then wandered off into the night after setting the hut on fire to find more alcohol to drink so he could throw that up as well. This time was different, though. He gazed around with blurred vision at the dimly lit cave he was in. A lone torch lit the chamber. The flame cast shadows that danced lazily around the dim, cavernous walls. He could barely make out the shape of an opening in the chamber on one of the far corners, which let only a sliver of sunlight in. The chamber was not far from the opening of the cave. He had ended up in far stranger places after his nightly festivities. He yawned and tried to scratch his itchy green orc ass, but found himself unable to move. He had been wrapped in steel chains and cables during his party fucking coma. "By my green bearded balls, I have no time for this fuckery," he bellowed. He strained his awesome fucking huge ass muscles against the chains to no avail. Galgar looked like the motherfucking Hulk if the Hulk wasn't such a huge pussy bitch. It looked like he had pissed somebody off last night in his party-induced stupor, and they had full body wrapped him in some magic-ass chains and left him in a cave. "Son of a bitches," he muttered as his vision slightly cleared, and he saw piles and piles of bones littering the cave floor. 2 of which looked like they died 69ing. All the others looked like they died while totally boning.
Skeletons and boning. Yeah, I see what you did there.
That's a pun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Good looking out, Mary.
Galgar decided he was just thankful he didn't end up in the hut of that transvestite donkey witch outside of town. That bitch was so fucking ugly, and she wanted some good old-fashioned, pelvis-shattering orc fucking. He shuddered at the thought. He would rather be stung like 1,000,000 times by gigantic scorpions.
Is this story about me?
No, you're not a transvestite donkey witch. What the fuck? God damn it. He sat in the cave for a few hours, struggling to remove the enchanted chains. He was having no luck. After a time, a chittering noise of steadily increasing frequency could be heard from outside the cave mouth. The light from the tunnel leading to the cave mouth flickered out once, twice, 3 times. Some things had entered the cave. Galgar was looking pretty fucking fucked. With his eyes trained on the opening of the bone chamber, Galgar waited to see who his assailants were. 3 dog-sized scorpions entered the cave. Their low but wide frames were lined with chitinous armor, colored a deep shade of red, except for their gigantic tail, which was disproportionately huge and black.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
dude.
Yes,
Dog-sized
absolutely.
scorpions?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of size dogs, so is it like Chihuahua size or is it like bull mastiff size?
We're talking like maybe like the size of a Labrador.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're
Fuck
pretty big.
that.
Yeah, fucking, and there's 3 of them. He's fucking chained up. The maw of the beast suspiciously resembled an old, saggy, loose vagina lined with teeth.
Well, that's scary.
Galgar had seen worse, and he wished he didn't remember them. He should probably drink more so he can forget. Without hesitation, the roast beef sandwich-faced beasts skittered over to the bound orc and started to sting the fucking shit out of him. Is everybody okay?
Yeah. Roast beef. Okay.
There was only one type of cave-dwelling scorpion in the desert territory of Desertory. He had learned about it when a sales troll tried to sell him a potion of the stone dick for just 99 silver dollars.
Only $99.
Only 99 silver dollars.
What a deal.
That's less than pharmacy prices. The venom was extracted from the stingers and used in small amounts to treat lazy-ass dicks that weren't up for the standard rape and pillage orc agenda. A dose this large would cause a giant's dick to explode. Users may also suffer perpetual boner-itis.
Wait, so this is what the dog scorpions, like, that's what happens when you get stung by them?
Yeah, your dick will explode, or you might just suffer permanent boner.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. That's if you use too much. You're supposed to use it in little bits, and it just gives you a boner. It's like orc Viagra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, at least you don't cum blood.
Yeah, I guess that's a plus.
The chains buckled and were finally smashed into a violent flurry of shrapnel as his angry orc dick emerged. It pulsated with bloodlust. Galgar was free, fucking pissed off, and horny as fuck now. 2 of the scorpions had died in the explosion of chains and cables, while the last one had been flipped onto its back. Time to add a new meaning to Bone Cave, the orc with the hulking boner said. He took some chains and decided for the first time in his life to be safe. He wrapped his telephone pole-like dong in the magic metal and formed a goddamn cockhammer metal condom. He then fucked the creature's pussy face in with his uncontrollable dick. Blue blood and chunky scorpion innards exploded everywhere. The beast died and squealed as the beast squealed as it died a horribly painful death. From the creature's shattered remains, Galgar pulled a huge motherfucking lightning-shooting, glowing-ass battle axe. Logistically, this made no sense because the axe was twice the length of the beast he had just pulled it out of. And the axe blade itself was 3 times as wide. He didn't really care, though. He was getting major blue balls and needed to bust a nut, like, right the fuck now. I must quest for the puss, he yelled. Battle axe in hand. Now armed with a badass weapon, he decided it was time to move on and find something to stick his gross, smelly, blood-covered dick in. He started to unwrap the chains from his hog. Don't tell me this shit's fucking cursed, Galgar said. The chains were not coming off and had grafted themselves to the orc. Seriously, fuck mages. What the fucking fuck? Who does that shit?
Oh my god, so
Yeah.
they're just like stuck on.
Dude, they're grafted on there.
Oh god.
Yeah, it sucks. He took his new master enchanted axe and decided to smash the chains. Not too hard, though. He needed to avoid collateral damage to his dong. He had already been circumcised once, and he did not plan on doing it again. He swung the axe with his massive fucking pythons and made contact with the chains. A blinding blue light filled the cave, and the bodies of the scorpions burst into bright blue flames, as did the skeletons. They all promptly burned into shining purplish piles of dust. Galgar looked down at his dick sheath to find it fully intact, and his formerly bitchin' axe completely obliterated by superior magic.
Oh, that sucks,
I
dude.
know, right?
His master enchanted axe and his metal dick just smashed it to pieces.
Dude, just smashed it completely to pieces.
I would be so pissed off.
He strode into the desert, butt-ass naked. Running full speed into the sandy plains, Galgar quickly discovered an abandoned fortified hill, still partially on fire. He explored the camp quickly, as his blue balls were worsening. There was nothing but old catapults, some burning buildings, and a single guard tower, a lot of skeletons, and a big-ass bag of orc weed.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they got orc weed over where Galgar's from.
Dude. Galgar might not live too far away. Desert Tory could be right next to Forest Tory.
Foreshadowing.
He promptly took a skull of one of the fallen warriors and converted it into a pipe. A burning stick of wood fell from a nearby burning building at his feet, and the orc promptly used it to light the skull full of orc weed and get higher than fucking shit.
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you get stung by 1,000,000 scorpions, you have a raging boner. I mean, you gotta do something to calm yourself down.
I'm not judging.
He tried to climb the scout tower to survey his surroundings, but his raging boner instantly tore through the ladder as he climbed up it. And it subsequently destroyed the tower. 10,000 ogre dicks in your mother's ass. Galgar cursed at the gods. He was gonna die from super huge dick explosion. As he shouted to the sky, a shadow passed over Galgar. The shadow was so immense, it actually covered most of his horribly gigantic gore-covered, magic chain-wrapped orc dick.
I feel like you're really concentrating on this whole dick thing.
Dude, that is the central plot of the story.
I know it is, but...
God damn it. Would the sword and the stone be a story if it wasn't about the sword and the stone?
No, I guess not.
Yeah, that's right. So back the fuck up.
I'm listening.
Back the fuck up, man.
Story called again?
Fire in the Skies. And we are about to get to that part right now.
All right.
good.
It was an airship. Not just an airship, but one borne to the sky by a massive ass, enslaved flying dragon. These types of vessels were almost always employed by wealthy mercenary groups and were almost always used to drop troops behind enemy lines, while using the dragon for artillery air support. He didn't know if they were hostile or not, but those sons of bitches are in the wrong place at the wrong time. He really didn't give a shit. He was getting his dick into something one way or another and spooge the venom out or die. The scorpion's peanut poison's effect was getting more and more intense, and he was sure if he didn't do something about it, his dick was totally gonna explode. The craft, being carried under the dragon's massive frame, was a regular wooden ship, except, a badass dragon was carrying it. It also looked like a giant dong, so maybe it wasn't your average harbor ship. But it had openings on the side with cannons peering out, ready to shoot jizzy little cannonballs from the dick boat they were carried upon. The dragon was tethered to the boat by large swaths of chains, not unlike the ones wrapping Galgar's green constrictor, but not enchanted. The dragon also held the boat with its two front arms. It soared not even 100 yards from the ground. If only he could reach them somehow. Just then, Galgar's stupid high-as-fuck orc brain came up with a stupid-ass high-as-fuck idea that was very likely to kill him. But he was bound to die a bonerific death anyway if he didn't start getting it on soon.
This is reminding me of like Speed, but the movie Speed with the Keanu Reeves and the bus can't go under like 50 miles an hour. But
that's exactly what it is. It's like Speed and Crank. That's exactly what this whole story is based off of. He cranked a catapult into firing position as quickly as possible. There was only enough time for one shot at this. The shot would have to be precise. It would need to be perfectly timed. And the ammo would need to be harder than stone. He climbed into the throwing pan and waited a full second before launching himself full speed at the side of the wooden dick ship. He cranked the catapult a little too much, he realized, as he hurled faster and faster towards his target, breaking the sound barrier and eventually catching fire. The rainbow-garbed crew began shouting alerts as soon as a giant fireball had been spotted coming up the rear. A few had come to the upper deck to see what was happening. Only a few of them had swords on them. The screaming mass of huge orc dick had just enough time to shout a few obscenities about the dragon's tiny chode and how vile his mother dragon's curdled milk having ogre tits were before he smashed through the outer hull, igniting half the ship in flames. Fire in the skies. The green being smashed through 2 or 3 different rooms on the lower deck before rolling to a stop against a wall. The flames covering the orc were extinguished by the time he had stopped rolling, but the damage was done. A trail of fire had started and was rapidly destroying the wooden ship. Galgar regained his footing and wielded the stick-like handle of what was left of his magic axe, and rushed through the hallways, slaughtering everyone.
Nice.
Yeah, right. He reached the upper deck of the boat As soon as he stepped aboard, he was greeted with a platoon of well-armed and well-trained human soldiers. In front of them stood an elven mage with a fabulously rainbow-colored robe. Galgar was overwhelmed with rage. "Where is all the pussy on this goddamn boat?" he roared. "Like as if," the elf femininely replied. "This is a gay pride float, and we're like taking this giant air cruise across." The elf paused for a second, and his eyes widened. "You have a really huge dick." The gay as fuck elf was starstruck. I guess the right term for it would be dickstruck. By now, Galgar had enough she-males trying to touch his dick. "Gods damn it! Of all the airboats in all the world, I have to catapult aboard this dick fest. I'll fucking kill you." The mercenaries all were in awe of the orc's mighty meat saber and quickly began to strip. "Come and get him, boys!" the famously queer elf cooed. What followed was a horrific slaughter. Galgar, consumed with blue balls, was destined to die seeking out the puss, it seemed. He killed each and every one of the half-new swordsmen, crushing half of their skulls with the hilt of his axe, and crushing the other half of the skulls with his magically chain-wrapped dick hammer. Only the wizard was left. During the conflict, he had gotten nude and was pounding his tiny paperclip-like dong as Galgar approached. With blinding speed, the orc swung his metal axe handle at the head of the elf. Right before it made contact with his frail skull, the elf disappeared. He had teleported behind Galgar to look at his sweet ass. Unfortunately, he was going to have to blast it into space. The sexually confused elf channeled all of his magic into one massive arcane blast and hurled it at the orc. Galgar was totally fucked, except he wasn't. The chains on his dick glowed an evil dark purple and pulled the blast right into it, absorbing the massive blast completely, and in the process, giving his dick chains a sick-ass magic aura.
Damn.
Yeah,
so
right?
now that shit's like glowing.
Yeah, dude,
That
it's
sounds
got some
dangerous.
bling bling. It's fucking,
like
dude, it's dangerous as
It's turned
shit.
into a formidable weapon at this point.
Galgar can't catch a break. He's already crushed a bunch of skulls with his dick. I mean, come on.
Should probably go to a doctor after all this is said.
We'll see about that. I mean, there might be a reference later on. The mage collapsed out of exhaustion in a blacked out state. Galgar seized the opportunity, tore out the mage's ribcage, and wore it like a hat. He was still high as fucking shit from all that orc weed, and it made sense to him at the time. The flames had all but consumed the ship, and some were reaching up and burning the tiny chode of the dragon. It roared in agony as it made a nosedive into the desert sand below. Galgar had no idea what the fuck was happening, nor did he remember anything that had just happened in the past 10 minutes, because goddamn, that was some great orc weed, and he just kept getting higher and higher. It was like a delayed effect that was building up over time, so he just stood there as the dragon nosedived into the ground. The burning and blackened dick boat made contact with the sand and rock-covered mountainside. It broke into several large, burning pieces, the largest of which were still chained to the dragon, who lay in the center of the burning ship parts, clearly dazed from the crash. The beast shook its mighty limbs, trying to release itself from the chains binding it to the wreckage. It was having no success. When pulling at the chains from one of its arms, it moved a huge piece of burning wood clear off of a smoke and soot-stained, but still clearly green figure. The massive dragon had seen the likes of which before, but it had never tasted orc flesh. The thought tantalized the dragon, and it leaned over and drooped its serpentine neck down to place itself at eye level with the orc. Galgar opened his eyes. The bone hat he had fashioned from the elf's gay ribcage had done absolutely nothing to help him. It broke almost immediately upon crashing face first into the sand, and was pounded into bone dust when a 1,000-pound piece of ship hull crashed down onto him. A single rib was sticking out of his eye socket. His
Shit.
Yeah.
Ouch.
His legs were broken, and he could not stand without risking shattered bone shooting out of his skin. He flipped over onto his back and gasped for air. The chains on his dong still retained their glowing quality, but this did little to calm the brain-racking blue balls he was suffering. Or maybe that was the rib bone lodged into his left eye tickling his brain. Perhaps it was too much orcweed. Maybe a combination of all of those things.
Yeah, he's got a couple problems going on right now, it
Yeah,
seems.
it's not his best day. He pulled the ribcage spike from his eye with a sickeningly wet suction sound. Black blood spewed out from his wound. This was it. He knew his dick was about to explode.
I sure hope not.
A looming figure presided over the destroyed orc's body. A large reptilian head was looming right on top of him. It pressed its massive scaled nose onto the orc and smelled him. Fuck you, Galgar managed before coughing up blood into the creature's huge nose hole. As he coughed, blood would shoot out of his eye in a sick-as-fuck gross manner, kind of like liquid silly string. The dragon liked what it smelled. It sniffed once more. The smell was strong, stronger than it had been before. The dragon reared its head back and prepared to strike down the orc with its mighty maw. When it realized, he was gone. It tilted its head in confusion. That stupid bitch! Try and eat me, motherfucker! I'll fucking kill you. Galgar had crawled into the creature's nose hole. He was gonna kill this fucker from the inside if it was the last thing he did.
What? So the dragon didn't even notice he climbed into his face?
Dude, the dragon just fell, like, out of the sky into a mountain.
That's true.
Galgar did cough blood up into its nose, so, you know.
That's
when you
true.
breathe fire and shit like that, and sometimes you just kind of lose track.
Yeah, his senses are probably kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it's all smoky, sooty.
Okay.
He
Alright,
smells like
that.
the wreckage.
Okay,
He smells
that's
like the
true.
wreckage because he's all covered in smoke and soup.
All right, yeah, I get
Bam. Man, Galgar needs a fucking nerf.
that. Way OP. Dude.
Way OP.
He needs a doctor, dude.
I know.
He needs a bone doctor and a dick doctor, like ASAP.
he needs a fucking eyeball doctor, too.
Yeah, no shit.
He needs a psychologist after this shit. You have post-traumatic stress disorder. His dick chains were covered in sick-ass dragon snots, as was the rest of the orc, but it allowed him a smooth and slippery entrance through the nasal cavity. The dragon stood confused. He didn't know what happened. Perhaps the orc knew magic and had teleported. It was not too disappointed, though. Attracted by the crash of the Pride ship, a retinue of native orcish warriors had arrived to investigate a potential invasion. They would be much better than just one orc morsel. The orc warriors stopped not 50 paces from the dragon. They could not hope to stop a monster of such proportions with primitive axes and swords. The dragon spread its wings in a show of strength and roared defiantly. It charged at the orcs who were battle-ready, weapons raised. The beast raised its mighty chained claw to strike.
It's gonna be a massacre, dude. Those
Total
orcs
massacre.
don't have shit.
After a minute or two passed, Galgar had crawled his way to the end. He had reached the central chamber, the brain of the dragon. He climbed out of the nasty hole that led him into the dragon's thinking organ and fell 3 or 4 feet to hit the vein-laced bottom of the beast's skull with a sickening thud. Galgar dragged his broken body to the bottom of the brain, climbed his way up it, took his magic chain-armored dick and stuck it right in the fucking middle of the stupid and somewhat sexy pink dragon brain.
Somewhat sexy. How's a brain somewhat sexy?
Look, he's delusional and really high. He suffered a lot of blood loss.
He's got to be in shock right now or something.
He fucked and fucked and fucked until the brain started collapsing and spewing blood everywhere. The strike never came. The dragon stood frozen for a solid 30 seconds before it collapsed. It writhed violently on the desert surface and began seizing out. The orc warriors exchanged confused looks.
I'd be confused as shit too.
Galgar could feel the beast moving around, thrashing and waving its head. It was trying to dislodge him, but his dick anchor was keeping him held fast. He was almost there. So close. And...
Oh, God.
The disgusting dragon blood lube and warm fleshy brain had given Galgar the biggest O he had ever had in his entire life. Instead of shooting out little unborn orc warriors from his orc pee hole, a motherfucking badass arcane laser beam shot from his dick.
Oh my God.
Yeah, burning all the magic stored in the chains from the spell it had absorbed from the elf mage he had defeated. The blast ripped through the dragon brain and blasted the top part of the monster's head clean off. It was really fucking sick. Like, the only thing left was the motherfucker's bottom half of his jaw and parts of his skull and brain. The beast stopped moving, and what was left of its brain fell out of the roofless head onto the dirty sandy ground. The army of green soldiers stood, mouths agape, wondering what the fuck had just happened. Well, I'll tell you what the fuck had just happened. Galgar literally just fucked that dragon's brains out.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
what a death.
No, it's
What a way to
awful.
die.
A burly figure covered in pink brain slime and red gore emerged from the broken skull. Galgar crawled his shattered frame over to the base of the dragon's head, peeled a scale off the beast's neck. He scratched the ruined socket that used to house his left eyeball. He put the scale over his quickly drying blood and created an eye patch that was badder than fuck.
What a badass.
Right? The magic chains had disintegrated during the blast and were no more. Galgar crawled his naked ass over in the direction of the orc army, swearing and throwing obscenities their direction as he crawled. Galgar quickly closed the gap. crawling fast as fuck like some kind of fucked up dog with only 2 front legs.
He's got like prison legs.
He's got prison legs. Oh my god. Oh man. He forced himself to stand up on his broken ass legs. Bone shot out of the side of his calf and thigh on his left leg as he shifted the most of his weight onto it. Galgar managed a blood-curdling shout. "I am Galgar, fucker of dragon brains. Come at me, bro." The Orcish army dropped their weapons and shit their pants. They fell to their knees and cried, "Galgar, the mighty, we submit to you." The commander of the Orcish platoon nervously walked up to Galgar the mighty and said, "I am Fleg, warrior champion of these orcs and fledgling shaman. We devote ourselves to you and will follow your every command, my lord." Galgar looked at his new second in command and decided he could kick his ass even if his legs didn't work. "Then I command you to find a healer who can fix my broke-ass legs. I can't be slaying poon with my permaboner if I got broken legs." The orc commander pondered for a moment before his face lighted up. He knew just what to do. "My magic is weak. I cannot help you, but I know of someone who can. We will bring you to him, my lord. There are rumors of a powerful shaman who has taken residence in a nearby city."
Oh.
The end? Question
Wow.
mark?
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That story was epic as fuck.
I don't remember writing half of it. I actually wrote most of it high out of my mind on NyQuil. Because I'm pretty sick, so I really needed a lot of NyQuil.
All up on that scissor.
Yeah, it's helped me defeat my writer's block.
Oh my god, so he literally fucked a dragon's brain to death.
Yeah,
like,
fucked that
he
dragon's
mind
brain to
fucked
death.
that dragon.
Dude, for real, like Chris Angel ain't got shit.
Oh my god, that was fucking awesome. Your story was way funnier than mine.
Oh man.
Oh, that was great. We should totally write another story to succeed these ones and to continue.
We really should. Maybe down the line we should consider doing a collaboration story.
We could possibly do that. Maybe Galgar and Nargh will meet up at some point.
That would be cool. I would enjoy that. I mean, there's a powerful shaman who's taken up residence in a nearby city. It sounds like a journey to get to that city, though.
That does sound like a journey.
Might not quite be as nearby as they thought.
I guess we'll have to see.
Guess we'll have to see.
In the future.
In the future.
Alright, well, we're out. Thanks for listening. I'm Alex.
I'm Aaron.
And Mary is drunk as shit and passing out.
Her ass is passing out. Later.
Later.